applied to 9 Canadian universities and I got accepted into all 9 of them. Here's exactly how I did it. It's currently the mid of November and it's like the perfect time to be researching and applying to your ideal universities. In this video, I'll take you month by month, all the way from September of last year to September of this year, on how my journey was when I was applying to universities and the visa process and everything included. Starting off with September 2024. So last year in September, I basically did my research on the countries that I want to go to, on the universities within those countries that I want to go to, and then I put my ideal universities in a Google Sheet alongside their tuition fees, their location, their like scholarship programs, all of that stuff, all of the main stuff. I'll try putting up a example of what I did on the screen right now so that you can see as well. And that basically really helped me narrow down my list and see which one I really want to go for. October 2024. Nothing really happened in October. I was just busy giving my A-level retakes because I kind of screwed up in my AS level exams. So I ended up re-giving them and improving my grade. And at the same time, I was also doing my IELTS exam because if you don't know, IELTS is extremely necessary if you want to go abroad. So whether that be UK, Canada, US, Australia, New Zealand, whatever you can think of, you need to be doing IELTS. And IELTS are valid for I think 2 years, 1 or 2 years. I'll put that up on the screen as well. So I gave them quite early so that I don't have to stress for them later on. I also managed to narrow down the list from the 9 initial universities to my 3 or 4 main universities I was actually targeting. November of 2024. Nothing really happened in November because I was just busy with my studies, giving A-level marks, giving my, and especially getting my extracurriculars up, because at that point I realized that if you want to apply to a university, get a scholarship and all that, you must have good extracurriculars. So I started participating in way more school events, way more external events, just to get certificates and all of that stuff so I can make my application stronger. December 2024. In terms of my uni progress, again, nothing really happened in December. I was just building more extracurriculars, finishing up with mocks, and my main goal was to build extracurriculars for my application. And I also had another A-level exam in January because I was giving early entry. That's another story for another day. So I ended up giving one of my maths paper early in January instead of May, June, and I was just basically studying for that throughout December. So uni wise, nothing really happened. Now January is when things started getting a bit more fast paced. So what happened in January is that, remember the exams, the A-level retake exams I told you about that I was taking in October and November? I got their results back in January, I think January 21st, I think. And then as soon as I got my results, I ended up emailing my school that please give me a transcript and give me my predicted grades. That took them about a week to give me, which kind of sucked because I really wanted to apply earlier, but it all worked out. Anyways, they ended up sending me back my transcript and predicted grades. I formed my application. By the way, I use the IDP. If you guys don't know what IDP is, IDP, I don't know their full form, I put it down over here, but they basically help students apply to universities completely for free. The way they operate is basically once a student chooses a university and actually ends up going to that university, the tuition fee, they get a bit of a commission from the tuition fee that you pay to the university itself. That's how they work. They're completely free. They help you out with your visa, double check your documents, help you out with the shortlisting, application process, everything. If you want to know more about them, let me know in the comment section below and I'll explain a bit more in detail, but that's basically it. I used IDP, very helpful, helped me apply to all the universities and then also apply to the visa for the visa itself, which I'll come to in a bit. By the end of January, I started applying to all of the universities that I initially shortlisted, all of the 9 that I told you in the beginning of the video. I applied to all of them one by one, and then I just waited for their reply. Nothing really happened in January after that. Let's move on to February of 2025. By the 3rd week of February, I had all the acceptances from all 9 universities, so I was just debating on which one I should go for. I was stuck between 2, and I won't reveal their names, but it was quite a tough decision. I was like, which one should I go to? So what I ended up doing was I made a Google Sheet and I listed the pros and cons of both universities, and from there I also asked my parents or my friends and all of everyone else, and academic counselor at my high school, and from there I made a choice to go to the university that you see in the background, which you can try guessing in the comment section below. Now comes the month of March, and basically this is where things started getting a lot more intense. I'll explain everything that I did one by one. So within the first week of March, I accepted my offer from the university that I really wanted to go to. I paid my tuition deposit, which you need to pay if you want to receive your PAL. Your PAL is your provincial attestation letter, and you have to pay a tuition deposit, which is for my university it was 5,000, but for other universities it depends, it varies. Once you pay that deposit, it is not extra money you're paying, it's just taken out of your tuition fees. So let's say your tuition fees is 40,000, it's just going to become 35,000 for the first year. So I paid the $5,000 deposit. it took, I think, around a week to 2 weeks to receive my PAL, which is a provincial attestation letter, which is essential for your visa. You literally cannot apply for your visa if you don't have a PAL. I'm talking from a Canadian perspective right now. So once I deposited the 5,000, received my PAL, then I started gathering my documents for the visa. Also, if you're applying to a university in Ontario, Canada, what you have to do is you have to accept your offer through OUAC, which is the Ontario University's uh, application center. Yeah, Ontario University's application center. That's where you accept your offer letter, and from there you follow the process. So just an extra note, I thought I would let you know. I don't know about what it is for, like, let's say British Columbia or Alberta or something, but for Ontario you have something called OUAC. Also, in the offer letter itself, it showed me how much of a scholarship I'm eligible for, and also how much transfer credits I'm eligible for. So both of them amounted to $15,000. So $15,000 worth of scholarship because of my predicted grades, which were pretty decent, and then $15,000 saved in transfer credits. So my initial fees was around 40,000, and then it ended up becoming just 10,000, which is what an average local student pays. So that was pretty sick. Anyways, so let me also explain what transfer credits do. Let's say you're taking a chemistry course in university and you've already studied A-level chemistry. The point is, you're going to be learning the same content that you learned in A-level chemistry again in university. So the universities basically don't see a point in reteaching you something, so they just give you transfer credits for what you've already studied. So instead of taking that chemistry class, you don't have to do it because you already got the credits for it. The way you graduate is on credits. Let's say 150 credits over the course of 4 or 5 years, whatever it is, to graduate, and you already got the credits from the high school course you took, or A-level chemistry, A-level maths, A-level physics. So I did all three of them, and they're receiving transfer credits for all of them. I think I received around 15 to 16 transfer credits, which saved me around $15,000. April 2025 was just busy in visa. I applied for housing over here, which is where I live now, and I also started gathering all the documents again for the visa, such as financial documents, bank statements, acceptance letter, PAL, all of those. The visa process is actually quite tough. Like, you need a lot of documents. They need to, like, literally prove that you are going to be a legit student. So I ended up doing that. It took me about, I would say, 2-3 weeks to gather all the documents, especially the bank statement, which took a lot of time to come. Then once I had all of them, again, as I mentioned, IDP was helping me throughout this. I went to my counselor. She rechecked all the documents, making sure they're okay, completely free. And then I ended up applying to the for the visa. And when I applied for the visa, it showed like an estimate 6 to 7 weeks before your visa comes. So I was like, I'm not gonna get it this month. I'm not gonna get it in the next month, which I'll come to in a bit. So I'll probably end up getting it by June. In the month of May, there was no update. I was still waiting for my visa. A-level started during this, so my focus was completely on maintaining my predicted grades, and just doing well in my A-level. So I completely forgot the visa. I was just waiting for it to happen automatically. So the month of May was basically useless in terms of unis. I was just focusing on my A-levels, and that's about it. June 2025. My A-levels were still going on in June, and basically I still didn't think anything about the visa because I was expecting it to come between 10 to 15 June. A-levels finished on the 13th, and my visa still didn't come. So I was like, maybe it's just taking them a bit longer than usual. That's fine. I'll just wait. Then I think around 17 or 18, my graduation came around, which was like completely forgot about the visa. Was having fun with my friends. Insane. Never thought that day would come, by the way. Then it started coming towards the end of June, like the last 5 days of June, and I was like, still a bit skeptical, and like the visa should have come by now. But it's fine. Maybe it's just taking them longer than usual. But as a safe precaution, I started applying to universities in Dubai. I applied to like 4 or 5 universities in Dubai, just as a best case scenario, worst case scenario, and got accepted into them. So I was like, it doesn't matter. Like, if the visa gets rejected, it's fine. I'll just stay here. I don't mind. Like, I'll be closer with my family here as well. So, and also I started like shifting my mindset, because from September of 2024 till like now, I was like, I'm gonna go abroad somewhere, live alone, and all of that stuff, right? But now, end of June, like, my visa still hasn't come back. I was pretty sure it was going to get rejected, so I just started like thinking about, what's the worst that could happen? I just end up staying here with my family, which is like a bonus for me. And with that, June ended up coming to an end, and next comes July 2025. For the first 2 weeks of July, I heard nothing from the IRCC again, so this time I was starting to get pretty sure that it's going to get rejected. So I completely made up my mind, like 99%, that I was going to end up staying in Dubai. And I was like, start looking at the positives. You know, when you change your mindset, you have to change it completely. There's no halfway between it. So I completely changed my mindset that, oh, I'm gonna stay in Dubai. I'm gonna have all my current friends and make new friends, have my own car, all of that stuff, you know. So did that, and of exactly 2 weeks, on the 14th of June, 3 a.m. at night. I don't know why I was awake at 3 a.m. I get an email from the IRCC saying there's an update in your portal. I actually put the email up over here if I can as well. And it said like, oh, there's an update in your status application. I was like, shit. Because I fully expected it to be a rejection. So 3 a.m., sweating. Wasn't really sweating. I was just like it is what it is, you know. I ended up opening the IRCC portal, doing everything, and boom, said send your passport to the nearest Canadian embassy, whatever. So which was in Abu Dhabi, which wasn't even in Dubai. So 3 a.m., my life just changed all of a sudden. Fully expected for like almost a month and a half that I was gonna end up staying in Dubai, and then just one random night in the middle of July, I get woken up to say that, oh, you're moving halfway across the world, far away from your family, complete changing your life forever. Anyways, then I ended up going to my parents' room, and I woke them up. I was like, yo, your boy's going to Canada. And they were like, yo, that's sick, and they could care less. They went back to sleep. And honestly, I was just in so much of a shock because I didn't expect it. I ended up staying up till 5 a.m. just processing what the hell just happened. So that was the story of July. Started doing everything, sent my passport over to Abu Dhabi, which is not that far away when you consider the size of a UAE. Anyways, from Dubai, my passport got sent to Abu Dhabi. Came back in like a week with the stamp. So yeah, that's the story for July. Now let's move to August. Okay, now comes the August of 2025, and this time I just basically made peace with it. I was like, you know, it is what it is. You know, my life's gonna change. I booked the flight via Emirates, 13.5 hour flight, which is insane. I still don't know how I survived that. And every time I have to go see my family, I have to take a 13.5 hour flight. Insane. So booked the flight, took out my suitcases and everything from the storage, got them, started packing, decided what stuff I'm going to leave in Dubai, what stuff I'm going to take with me. I'm a big perfume collector, if you don't know. So the biggest pain for me, more than leaving my family, okay, that's a joke, but like, was leaving my perfumes behind, my fragrances behind, my beloved fragrances behind. It hurt, okay? It hurt very much. Maybe more than leaving my family. That's a joke. So yeah, August was just booking my flight. My flight was on 24th of August. So I made a vlog about it. You should 100% check it out right over here, wherever that, because you don't really get to see stuff like in person of someone completely leaving their family and home behind, home for the last like 12 years, and moving to a complete new country where they've never been before. So check it out. So yeah, that's about it. That was August. Let me just fast forward it to September of 2025 when I landed in Canada. September 2025, landed in Canada, had fun, made friends, university started, and basically got adjusted to life here. So I will tell you one thing: the first 2 to 3 weeks of me being in this country were very bad. Like, I missed my family a lot. I was homesick. Didn't get like my mom's food and all of that stuff. So that was probably like the worst bit of it. The food. I didn't get my mom's food, and I need my mom's food, especially after you've been eating it almost every single day for like the last 12 years. So that was the biggest shock. And yeah, but like, you get adjusted to it. That's the biggest thing. You become independent. Like, back when I was at home, I used to ask my parents for a lot of stuff. Like, they would do stuff for me, and I didn't realize how spoiled I really was. Then you move abroad by yourself, live alone, be independent, and you realize like, oh, I gotta do all this by myself. You know, my parents, like, when we vacuumed, we had someone to vacuum for us, but now I have to do everything by myself. Chores, dishes, everything by myself. It makes you responsible. It teaches you, you know, self-reliance. It makes you trust yourself, become more responsible, and just mature a lot. So that is one benefit of living alone. I would highly recommend anyone, if you can do it, if you can afford it, to go abroad and live by yourself, make new friends, immerse yourself in a new culture, you know, experience a different life. How long are you going to stay with your parents? Like, I love my parents, and I'm sure you do as well, but like, you can't live with them forever. You can love them forever, you can see them forever, but you can't, they're not going to be the ones taking care of you for the rest of your life. Like, you have to stand on your own 2 feet and become mature and responsible and all of that stuff. So that is my story. And now it's middle of November. It's like 2 degrees right now, but the good thing is there's no wind. Otherwise, I would have been absolutely freezing. 2 degrees, like going from 40 degrees in Dubai, and like the lowest it will go in winters is like 15. That too is like 6 a.m. in the morning to like it's like 12. I think it's like 12 right now, and it's 2 degrees. It's absolutely insane. So probably one of the biggest shocks for me was like weather, but like I'm pretty good with cold, so it's not that bad for me. But yeah, I mean, if you put your mind to it, if you work really, really hard, that's like the main thing. Work really, really hard, and no matter what you do, like if there's the Sam Sulek quote, like if you're in the gym and you're taking care of your diet, you're taking protein shakes, you're going to the gym every single day, but you're giving 90% of it. In the gym, you're giving 90% of it. You're not going to see the gains because you're not giving that extra 10%. The moment you start giving your extra 10%, whether that's in the final few reps, whether that's going to failure, whatever it may be, you're going to see a much bigger difference. So no matter what you do, doing the first 90% is going to be easy, but then pushing through to the final 10%, it's going to be the hard bit. And trust me, if you push through that final 10%, you will see the biggest changes in your life, like physically, mentally, spiritually, every single way, right? So, yeah, it is what it is. I mean, new country, new people, new friends, new culture, new everything, and I've adjusted pretty well to it. So, yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope this video was very helpful for you guys. If you did, please go ahead and leave a like, subscribe to the channel because, yo, I need subscriber. Help me out. And I'll see you with another video very soon. Take care. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.